Hello. Today, I'm going to talk about a film that I think I only mentioned once, um, and that was back when I got this film some years ago. Um, Maybe not, but I don't believe I got this right away. In 2015 when this version came out, but the film I'm talking about today is obviously Thief, starring James Caan as a professional uh, jewel robber. Film also stars Tuesday Weld, Robert Prosky, and Willie Nelson, as well as the film debut of Jim Belushi. Um, again, yeah, this is a Michael Mann film. This is his very first theatrical film. He had previously done the Jericho Mile, which was a prison film prior to this. I think a few years before. Um, and he would also go on to be a producer on Miami Vice and would direct the cult hit Manhunter, and then of course Heat. Um, I've got a good summary here from IMDb, which is Frank is the owner of the Rocket used car dealership and the Green Mill Cocktail Lounge. These businesses, however, are just a front for how he makes most of his money, which is through high stakes jewelry heists. He has a small, dedicated team, but he insists everything in his life, including the capers, be done on his own terms. Often bucking criminal convention. He wants to make enough money to get out of the life so he can settle down into what he considers normalcy with his new wife, Jessie, believing he can achieve that goal immediately through an offer he reluctantly agrees to do one last jewelry heist for a local mob boss named Leo. Beyond the complexities of the job itself, Frank has added pressures into doing it right, into doing the job right. These pressures include trying to eke out a regular life with Jesse. The two want to adopt a baby, trying to get the release of his ailing friend and mentor, Okla, from prison, who is that's Willie Nelson. Um, uh, yeah, and he doesn't want to die in prison, hence why he wants out. He has 10 months on his bid, but he wants out soon. And also dealing with a bunch of crooked cops on the take who know Frank is up to something big that they want their cut from for looking the other way. Leo tries to help Frank out with many of these matters, but Frank is unaware of what cost. And that is the general gist of the film. And but yeah, obviously the film is very well written and directed, but also James Caan's performance is excellent. Without his performance, I don't know if it would have been as good as it is. Um, I guess with any other actor in the lead role, it could have been fine. But I think this is a very good part for Caan, especially since you don't really think of James Caan as a character like this. Um, this is one of the first films Jerry Bruckheimer also produced. Um, and the music is by Tangerine Dream. I think this was the second score they composed after Sorcerer. And it's pretty good. Um, There's new interviews from Michael Mann and James Caan and Johannes Schmoing, yeah, Schmoing of the band Tangerine Dream, which obviously contributed to the film's soundtrack. But yeah, very good film. If you like Michael Mann movies and you've never watched this, I think it's worth a watch. It's also 2 hours and 4 minutes, so not long. This is the Criterion edition. I know there's a 4K release by Arrow, which I might want to. I try to pick up. That does have a Blu-ray, but that's the theatrical cut. Which, from what I can tell, there's only one little scene not in this film, and I think this is the director's cut. So in that sense, I'm not really losing out because also on the Blu-ray, there were, from what I could tell, there were no other special features beyond like a music track and something else. But that's region locked to region B, hence why I wouldn't be able to watch the Blu-ray. But considering all the, I think probably the more interesting special features are on the 4K, I think I would be okay with not being able to watch the normal Blu-ray, Especially since I have a Region A Blu-ray here. But yeah, this is really cool to go back on and watch. And yeah, and Roddy Caan, James Caan's brother, also produced this. Yeah, not much all else to say beyond this is a very good film. Uh, I haven't watched this in many years, so it was really cool to go back and just rewatch this because I've been in a Michael Mann mood lately, so which is also partly why it's been a while since my last video of me talking about movies, is because I tried to figure out which one I wanted to talk about, and then just I rewatched Heat, and then I kind of watched Collateral, and then Thief, and yeah. Also rewatched The Insider with Russell Crowe and Al Pacino. But yeah, I've really, really, really enjoyed this film. It's a good crime film. Everybody is excellent. Tuesday Weld is fantastic. Robert Prosky, Jim Belushi, though he's James Belushi. This is before he decided to have his name be James. And Willie Nelson, he's not in this film for very long, but the few scenes he's in the film, he's very good. It's always nice when somebody, sings or raps or, does music for a living. When you see them act, they're actually good because not everybody who goes from the music world can translate to the film world so well. But, Willie Nelson did a very good job. I've also seen him in a few other films and TV shows, and he always does a good job. James Caan also is excellent. And this really helped Michael Mann's career because for a good while he tried to go from writing on television to directing films, which is what he really wanted to do. But he finally was able to do Jericho Mile, and I don't know if he might have actually done a few television stuff, like some of the things he was writing for. He might have been able to get to direct a few episodes, which I could see that being a way for him to direct a TV film. But yeah, this film is very good, and so many of the things that you kind of expect of a Michael Mann film are here in terms of some of the stylistic looks and also again what we will know is James Caan went to an actual shooting, like in Arizona. He went to a place to shoot, so that way he knew how to properly handle and fire the gun. That would be essentially the same kind of look and model that he would use in the film. That way, when he would handle it and load and reload and everything, it's all fairly natural. And it's kind of cool stuff like that Michael Mann would have people in his films, like actors, go through. Like, I want you to be able to actually fire a gun correctly, not just, oh, well, hold it and bang, bang. Oh, well. Yeah, and this is how you load and unload it. It's nice when people actually have performers actually go and uh, go through the proper uh, training to use said firearms. Um, Even though obviously there's going to be like blank and dummy rounds on when it comes down to actually shooting the film, it's kind of good for them to know what it's like to have an actual gun hold in their hand, what's actually loaded, and know what it feels like. So that way, if when it comes time to shoot the film and shoot the scenes with said firearms, perhaps like the weight is not necessarily the same when they load up the blanks or the dummy rounds, and that way they can properly hold the gun. That way, it's like it's supposed to have a certain heft to it. So I'm gonna try to replicate that for the film. Even if it's just a pistol, sometimes some of those like they can have a certain heft to them. Um, but yeah, this is an excellent film. I think if anybody really again enjoys crime films, you enjoy uh, Michael Mann films, you will probably like Thief, because Thief is an excellent movie. And I also listened to the commentary, which I don't do too much, but I figured, it's also been a while since I watched it, so I actually rewatched it again with a commentary. And yeah, that was something like what James Caan mentioned with using the gun. He also considers this his second favorite film after The Godfather. He's also there's a scene with the diner with him at Tuesday Weld, and he says for him that whole scene, when he's delivering the lines, like about his life and everything, and what he wants, you know, from everything. Like he's, just that whole moment of him like laying things out for her to kind of understand him more. Um, that whole scene, for him, that was just, you know, like the one of the best moments of his entire acting career. And he was 82 when he passed away, but it's a shame all the same. He was a phenomenal actor, and definitely deserved all the praise that he got. He was an excellent man, and on screen and from behind the scenes, it sounds like he was a pretty good guy too, and fairly funny. And one of the guys who's in this film, John Sanatucci, who plays Urizzi, who's a corrupt cop. He's actually the guy who inspired Frank, the actual, the jewel thief, because he was an actual career criminal himself, and he inspired really this film, even though it says based off of The Home Invaders by Frank Homeyer. Michael Mann said he never really. That was just sort of the basis. He just never really looked back at that book after he read it. And for the most part, the film came from, uh, yeah, Stan Tucci. And talking to him, and he put him in here as an actual, a cop. And Chuck Adamson, who was the inspiration for Vincent Hanna and Heat, uh, is also a cop in this film. So, yeah. And Michael Mann's an executive producer on this film, not just a normal producer. But yeah, sparks from getting opening into a safe. Yeah, the streets of Chicago. I believe this is like the only film that there's a essay from critic Nick James, but this is like the only film that actually takes place in Mann's native Chicago. Yeah, there really isn't much else on the back either. But yeah, Mann is from Chicago, and for the most part, his movies don't really take place in Chicago. But it's cool that this film, this first theatrical film, is set in Chicago. And so that's Thief. Excellent film, excellent performances, great writing and direction from Michael Mann. Great way to really start his career. I mean, obviously he had started writing and everything, and made the Jericho Mile a few years before this film, but this film really helped him with the look and everything of what we would kind of come to know of what a Michael Mann film looks like. I mean, certain compositions and the looks of some of his films are just like, yeah, this looks like a Michael Mann film. So, have you ever watched Thief? If so, what did you think? Do you enjoy it? Do you dislike it? Are you somewhere, in the middle, like kind of like you like parts of it, but not super fond of other parts? Um, why or why not? But yeah, if so, you can definitely say why, why you don't like the film, or maybe you've never watched it and maybe you're interested. Um, that's completely fine too. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. So yeah, I'll get going, and I hope all of you are doing well. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you'll have a great weekend. Hope your month of March has been good. It's almost over, but hopefully it's been good. And I'll see you all next time, especially since it's warming up, so that's nice. Been trying to get out as often as I can when the sun's out. So hopefully you are too, if it's sunny where you are. But yeah, I'll see you all next time, and take care.